Satan's symbols are everywhere. It feels like the entire world is preparing, gearing up, for one single purpose: to worship these very forms. This might be the most important video you watch all year, because today you're going to understand where we are and where we're headed. The madness we're witnessing, the massacres, the disasters, the chaos, it's not random. It's part of a ritual. Sacrifices, preparations for a new phase. A phase that began this year, and it was kicked off by a massive global event the entire world watched. You, me, everyone saw it. We followed every detail, never realizing what we were watching wasn't a celebration. It was the announcement for the beginning of the century of Satan. For those of you who are new here, I'm your guide into the strange and mysterious. And today, we're diving deep into a plan that's been in motion for 100 years. The symbols used to appear here and there, but the real game? It was played in secret, until now. Now, everything is out in the open. We see it at the World Cup, major sporting events, concerts by the biggest stars. Even everyday social gatherings, they're following the final command of Aleister Crowley, the words he spoke on his deathbed nearly 80 years ago. The symbols of Baphomet must appear everywhere. Who was Crowley, the first man to openly champion the worship of Satan in the modern age? He wrote the playbook for what we're seeing today. But just a few months ago, we entered a new stage. A stage you need to be aware of, and one you need to wake others up to. If you believe in this mission, share this video. The information in it is something every single one of us needs to know. Part 1. The Prophecy of London 2012. Let's rewind. Before Paris, the Olympics celebrated the spirit of nations. Athens 2004. Greek heritage. Beijing 2008. China's economic rise. Then came London 2012. That's when the compass shifted. It started charming. Mr. Bean, James Bond, British pop. Then suddenly, a performance called Life and Death. Doctors and nurses danced around hospital beds. The stadium darkened. Cloaked, nightmarish creatures pushed a giant cage. They stalked the children. And then, a massive black figure rose, not with a scythe, but with a giant needle. At the time, it made no sense. But in 2020, it made perfect sense. We were locked down, trapped, and we all remembered that image. The giant needle, the beds, the dance. It was all planned. It wasn't a show. It was a ritual. And here's the question. Why do they tell us? Why show us their plans? We'll get to that in a moment. Part 2. The Paris Olympics, a Satanic coronation. Now, the main event. The Paris Olympics, or as many now call it, the Olympics of Satan. Even liberal commentators were disturbed. Let's break it down, symbol by symbol. The torch in the sewers. Children carried the Olympic torch into the sewers of Paris. They passed by rats, real rats, then gave the torch to a cloaked figure in a boat. He sailed toward a glowing gate, just like in the Animation 1, Pet Goat 2, where the Antichrist emerges by boat from a dark tunnel. Coincidence? The river of filth, the River Seine, one of the filthiest rivers in the world, swimming banned for 100 years. A river where heretics were drowned, pagans were sacrificed. And now, the entire world emerged from it during the ceremony, following the cloaked figure. All of humanity, following the new leader. The decapitated queens and the Last Supper. The boat docked, and every palace balcony displayed grotesque decapitated women. The band Gojira, openly Luciferian, blared in the background. Then came the finale, a twisted recreation of the Last Supper. Drag queens replaced the disciples, a Jewish lesbian DJ took Christ's place. Then a naked blue-skinned demon rose from the platter, a jinn, a demon, presented as the new god to be consumed, the pale horse and the golden calf. Then came the pale horse. A rider, symbol of death and the apocalypse, took the Olympic flag. He led the nations to a stage. On that stage, a giant golden calf, the ultimate symbol of rebellion against God. And who lit the torch? Snoop Dogg. The organizer said the theme was love. Part 3. The corruption of love. And here's the twist. They're not just mocking God. They're redefining love. True love, love of family, of God, of community, is being turned into lust and perversion. They've spent decades mocking marriage, glorifying betrayal, and now they've fused love itself with what the world once called evil. So you're given two choices. Embrace their new love and abandon your faith. Reject it and be labeled hateful, bigoted, or backwards. Either way, society fractures, and they control the pieces. Part 4. The Masterminds and the 100-year anniversary. Who's behind this? One man started it, Aleister Crowley. In 1924, he received a revelation from a being named Aiwass. He founded a new religion, a religion of lust, chaos, and self-worship. His motto, "Do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law." And now, exactly 100 years later, 2024, they celebrated his legacy at the Paris Olympics. A full century of preparing for the century of Satan. Conclusion: the war for your mind. Crowley's prophecy is coming true. Baphomet is everywhere. In Squid Game, in King Charles paintings, in Super Bowl performances, on plush toys for your kids. And they show us for a reason: arrogance. They believe we're too weak to stop them. Programming. They plant the seeds in our minds first. Aliens, civil war, zombies, apocalypse. They flood the culture with it, so when it happens, we don't resist. We accept it. But remember, the Quran says, the plot of Satan is weak. They will fall. They will burn, but only if we stay awake. Protect your families. Reconnect with your faith. Strengthen your soul. This is a war for the soul of humanity. Don't let them win the war for your mind.